Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Kent from the Southern Bureau in sunny FLA. It's today's Thursday, April 1st, 2021. We're brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry. Dr. Mike O'Neill, the best dentist that there is. Make the call. Take control of your dental health once and for all. 317-849-2933. Let's talk about the Indiana Hoosiers. Got some good news yesterday on Twitter. And the way we got it on Twitter may be a bellwether for more good news, the way I got it. Anyway, Parker Stewart is going to come back to Indiana University. Hadn't played yet. Transferred from Tennessee Martin last year, where he scored almost 20 points a game. And here was his tweet. IU gave me a home after I needed it most after the passing of when I needed it most after the passing of my father, and I look forward to staying and putting on my jersey at this prestigious university. That's good news because he's a volume scorer. He's a guy who can shoot. What is also good news is that Armaan Franklin retweeted that. And while we are in the process of reading tea leaves to try to figure out whether 18, 19, 20, and 21-year-olds are going to stay at Indiana University, this is a way to do it. Who retweets what? Armaan Franklin retweeted that. Is he going to come back? We don't know. We do know that Kenya Hunter is going to be back as an assistant coach. He's an elite-level recruiter. CJ Gunn of Lawrence North is honoring his commitment. He is scheduled to graduate from Lawrence North in 2022. He plays in the state championship game against Carmel on Saturday night. Should be an outstanding game. Can't wait to watch that game because it's really an interesting matchup. Carmel likes to play games in the 30s. Lawrence North does not. We'll see. Push comes to shove on Saturday night. Who's able to win that battle? CJ Gunn, you get a chance to take a look at one of the members of future Indiana basketball teams. Who else is going to be on the staff for Mike Woodson? We don't know. I mean, you can throw names out there. You can talk about Michael Lewis. You can talk about Dane Fife. Talk about Calbert Chaney, all these guys with ties to Indiana basketball through being graduates. But we don't know who's coming. We'll find out in good enough time. Is Larry Brown going to come? A lot of people on social media not thrilled about Larry Brown because, let's face it, with the NCAA, he's run afoul a couple of times. But if he comes, he is not going to have any kind of recruiting role. He's going to be sort of a basketball savant, which is what he is at the age of 80. I don't care how old that man is. He's in great shape. His mind, he is still sharp as a tack. I know people who know him, and they say that Larry is still playing with a full deck, and that's a good thing. And so Larry Brown coming to Indiana, if that comes to pass, I think that's a huge get. Nobody knows more about basketball. There is not a better basketball mind in the world than Larry Brown. His championship, where Mike Woodson was an assistant coach in 2004 with the Detroit Pistons, singular in the last 40 years of NBA championships because that team flat out did not have an elite player. You have to have an elite player to win a championship. The Pistons did not have one. They had an elite coach in Larry Brown. Let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, a couple of signings yesterday. They re-signed Al-Quadin Muhammad. Depth on the defensive front, that's a good thing. He was very productive, Al-Quadin Muhammad. Really good player. And then on the interior of the offensive line, they signed Chris Reed, a starting left guard last year for the Carolina Panthers. He's going to be 29 years old. Chris Reed is a guy who provides depth. He is not going to be a starter. Last year started at left guard for the Panthers. The Colts, they're set at left guard. They got Quentin Nelson. So there you go. That's depth. He joins Danny Pinter as potential backup guards who can step in and play a little bit. And I think that's what they did. You see some reports that maybe Indy is thinking about Chris Ballard and Frank Riker thinking about having Sam Tevy start at left tackle, and I don't see that happening. That's a backup tackle. That's not a guy you're going to trust to protect the blind side of Carson Wentz. I just don't see that happening. Speaking of the Colts, T.Y. Hilton's going to join us on Inside Indiana Sports Now a little bit later this afternoon. I cannot wait. Do I have socks and sandals on? No, I do not, Jeff. I have just sandals. There you go. I don't rock the socks and the sandals. Who am I, Jamie Moyer? For God's sake, saw him in socks and sandals once. Marty Simmons has signed to be the head coach of the Mule, a great nickname. I don't know whether Dan Dockich gave him the nickname, but when you talk about Marty Simmons with Dan Dockich calls him the Mule. I like that as a nickname for a basketball player. I've never heard that as a nickname for a basketball player. Anyway, the Mule, back in the coaching ranks, spent a long time at the University of Evansville. He is moving on from kind of semi-retirement to coach at Eastern Illinois. Good for him. The Heat beat the Pacers last night, 92-87. The Pacers 21-25. I don't like it, right? How about a good metal detector? Who am I, Richard Nixon, for God's sake, Steve Mix? You know what? Nate Bjorkgren's got to start winning some games. I know it's going to take time, but we thought it was going to take time with Nate McMillan, and Nate McMillan came in and won. You know what? I like Nate McMillan. I got to tell you the truth. Nate Bjorkgren might be a guy who winds up being a terrific coach for the Indiana Pacers. I liked McMillan, even though winning in the playoffs wasn't his deal, and the Pacers still in 9th place in the East. They are still 4 games clear of the Raptors for that 10th spot in the East. 10 teams are going to play in the playoffs. They'll qualify for the playoffs. We'll see what happens. Not a lot of scoring last night. And look, the Pacers have taken a step back with their defense. They've taken a step forward offensively, but if they score 87 points, they are not going to win a lot of games. And they did not beat the Heat last night. The Heat without Victor Oladipo because he had a head cold. What a shame, Victor, to make $300,000 a game. And you got a head cold. I got to stay home. I'm not feeling so good today. So please send me my game check, $300,000. Thank you. That's annual salary for 4 policemen or 5 teachers in the state of Indiana. How about that? You know what, Victor? You're not the sun. And the galaxy does not revolve around you. Get out there and play. Teams haven't given up on you. You just don't show up. Tired of Victor Oladipo. Hey, want to remind you, the Indy Spring Parade today at Fountain Square Mall at the corner of Durney and Lennon Streets in downtown Indianapolis. How about this? Peyton Manning and Reggie Miller, the Grand Marshals, at the end of the parade. The world premiere of John Mellencamp's stage play. It's a drama called Scarecrow. That'll be on a makeshift stage at the corner of Lennon and Durney Streets in Fountain Square. Red Panda will be performing, and she's got a small role in the Mellencamp play, which is unusual and a lot of fun. Isaiah Thomas is going to be on hand for the parade. He'll be honored as well, as will Rick Mount. This is going to be a fantastic thing. If you're a sports fan, you got to get to the corner of Durney and Lennon. Just look it up on MapQuest. Get to Fountain Square and see this parade at 12 o'clock. Marching bands, the whole 9 yards. Fantastic parade annually on April 1st. Let's celebrate some birthdays, shall we? Anthony Morehouse celebrating a birthday today. Kelly O'Brien, the great Johnny O. John Osler, happy birthday. The great David Sharman, happy birthday. The great Stephen Bardo, the great Mark Gupton, happy birthday. Who knew that Dave Sharman and Mark Gupton, both Indiana soccer or New Albany soccer alums, were born on the same day? I did not. Like I said, Eddie Volkman, Paul Barker, Mike Maxwell, happy birthday. Max Gabovich, happy birthday. Kurt Kretschmar, happy birthday. Eric Stone, the great John Bartholomew, wonderful storyteller, one of the best radio news reporters in the history of the medium. Amy Sims, Eric Stone, TJ Haney Thompson, happy birthday. Tom Michaels, Tag Griffin, Scott Caesar, happy birthday. You know what? The work doesn't stop just because we're in the Southern Bureau. So get ready for more Inside Indiana Sports coming up a little bit later today. T.Y. Hilton's going to join us. Not live and in person. We'll do a Zoom. But it's going to be fantastic, and I can't wait. Time to have some fun in Florida. Hope you're having fun in central Indiana. We'll talk to you a little bit later today.